My girlfriend cheated on me during our Europe trip. Watch till the end and find out how I took revenge on her. First night in Paris, she came back to the hotel at 3 a.m. I was supposed to be asleep. I wasn't. I heard her in the hall, the soft click of the door. She tried to be quiet, but I was awake, pretending I wasn't. I had been waiting for hours. We came on this trip to fix things. Our relationship was a mess, and I thought maybe getting away would help. Maybe we'd figure it out. We wouldn't. For the first few days, she was on her phone constantly, texting, scrolling, tapping. Eyes never really on me. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to seem like I was making a problem out of nothing, but I knew. I knew something wasn't right. We went out, saw the sights, walked the streets of Paris. I tried to make it feel like we were okay, but every time I looked at her, she was somewhere else. She'd ask if I was hungry, but then pull out her phone when I started talking. She'd smile, but it wasn't for me. I knew it wasn't. It started small. At first, I'd let it slide, but then we were at this cafe. I was sitting inside looking out the window, and I saw her. She was standing out there talking to some guy. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I could see enough. The way she was leaning in when he spoke, how long the hug lasted. Not a, hey, good to see you, hug. Not even a friendly hug. It was different. I stayed in my seat, watched, didn't move, didn't do anything. She didn't see me. I could have walked out there, could have said something, asked what the hell was going on, but I didn't. I told myself it was nothing. I was imagining things, but deep down I knew it wasn't. Next stop, Italy. Florence, to be exact. The city looked perfect on the outside, but I wasn't fooled. She acted like nothing happened, like everything was fine. She even tried to joke around, asking if I wanted to get a photo of us in front of the Duomo. I said no, not in the mood, but the truth was I couldn't stomach it. Every time I looked at her, all I saw was that hug in Paris. That stupid, careless hug. I tried to act normal. I did. I was playing the role of the normal boyfriend, smiling, talking, pretending I wasn't falling apart inside. But it wasn't working. I could feel it. It was like I was holding onto a mask that was too tight, and the longer I held it up, the more it hurt. But then something broke it all. Something that didn't even make sense to try and ignore. We were sitting at breakfast in the hotel, the sun barely coming through the windows. I wasn't hungry, didn't want to eat. But I picked at my food, trying to seem normal. She was on her phone again, typing away, swiping, like she couldn't go 5 minutes without checking whatever was on the other side of that screen. And then I saw it. Her phone buzzed, and for a second she wasn't paying attention. I glanced over. I shouldn't have, but I did. And there it was. A message. From Nico. I couldn't stop myself. The words were right there. I saw the message. Last night was unforgettable. Same spot tonight? I didn't need to ask her about it. The words were clear as day. She didn't even try to hide it. I wasn't going to waste my time asking her to explain herself. What would she say? That it was nothing? That it didn't mean anything? I wasn't stupid. I just didn't care enough to hear the lies. So I did what felt natural in the moment. I didn't react. I didn't make a scene. I stood up, grabbed my bag, and walked out of there. I didn't need to hear her voice. If she wanted her freedom, I gave it to her. Let's see how she handled it now. I got to Berlin a few hours later. The city wasn't like the tourist brochure. It wasn't a fairy tale, and that's what I liked about it. It was gritty, real. Not everything was polished or perfect, and it felt honest. There was no pretending here. I stayed in a hostel. Nothing fancy, just a bed, a window that opened to the street, and a hot shower. The first night, I couldn't sleep. I kept looking at my phone, waiting for her messages to come through. They did, constantly. She called, texted, even sent a voice note at one point. I didn't listen to any of it, didn't feel like I had to. The anger was gone. I didn't feel like I had to explain anything to her. I didn't care to hear what she had to say. I didn't want to hate her. I didn't want to keep doing this back and forth, trying to figure out if we were going to patch things up or let them fall apart. So I just left it alone. The next day, I walked around the city. I didn't plan on it, just wandered. I didn't need a guidebook or an itinerary. I didn't need to do anything but be there. It wasn't like I had any clear direction or purpose. I didn't need one. I thought about the last few days, how everything had been wrong from the start. It wasn't just the phone. It wasn't just Nico. It was the whole damn thing. The way she'd stopped caring. The way I let it go on. I kept hoping the trip would fix things, but it didn't. It just laid everything bare. The more I thought about it, the more I realized I was done. The worst part? I wasn't even angry anymore. I wasn't hurt. I just didn't care. I stopped pretending. I stopped trying to hold on to something that wasn't there. That was the real hit. The realization that I wasn't broken. It wasn't even a loss. It was just done. By the time I reached the bar, I'd let all the anger go. It didn't matter anymore. I wasn't fighting for anything. I wasn't waiting for anything. It was late. I walked in, grabbed a seat at the counter, and ordered a beer. The place had a vibe. People were laughing, talking, and a few of them were talking about their breakups. Funny how that works. People love to talk about heartbreak when they're not in it. It was just a few people chatting, but the words stood out. One guy was talking about how his ex-girlfriend had left him for someone else. He said it in a way that was supposed to sound tragic, like a broken man still holding on to hope. He wasn't. He was just bitter. He kept talking, digging into every painful detail about how she was the one who fucked everything up. He didn't see it. The way he was holding on to the anger was what was actually ruining him. But what was worse? He didn't even realize it. I took a sip of my beer, listening, not really caring about his story. It wasn't until I heard the last bit that hit me. And then I realized I'm better off. She's the one who messed up, not me. That was it. It wasn't an epiphany. It wasn't a moment where everything clicked. It wasn't dramatic or cinematic. I just realized I was in the exact same place. The difference was I didn't need to keep telling myself I was the one who got screwed over. It was just done. Like a final chapter closing. Not with a bang, not with a fuck you, just done. I didn't need closure. I didn't need answers. I didn't need her to apologize. All of that was pointless. It didn't change anything. I had nothing left to ask for or expect. She didn't owe me anything anymore. Neither did I. The guy kept rambling on about how he was going to be better, how he was going to move on, but the whole time I just thought how empty that sounded. He wasn't ready to move on. He was still looking for the right way to get over it. But there's no right way. You either get over it or you don't. It's that simple. I was sitting there smiling at the fact that I wasn't clinging to anything anymore. No more questions. I didn't need to be the one with the last word, the one who proved something. I didn't need to scream at her or drag it out. I just didn't care. Eventually, the guy went quiet. The conversation shifted to something else. I finished my beer and walked out into the night. Not in a rush, but not lingering either, just moving. I still had messages on my phone, still ignored them.